Dressed in a white chef's uniform, culinary student Georgia Fox prepares a new dish. As she flips the sautéed shrimp in the heavy pan, she discovers that it's all done with the wrist, using a rhythm and feel that at first don't come easily. Then Georgia remembers how it was before, when nothing came easily, and her uniform was a different color. Across town, plumber Michael Lathe makes another house call. The repair is routine. Just replace the pipe joint, check for leaks, clean up, and go on to the next job. Michael is used to hard work and doesn't mind getting down on his knees to get the job done right. But every morning for the past year, Michael has been getting down on his knees for another reason.
Naturally started off with a pint, led up to a fifth, and right before I went to jail, I was drinking almost 3/4 of a half gallon of liquor a day.
When I hit that rock bottom, had gone from prostitution to boosting, going in the stores, stealing clothes, and got popped in Dillard's for a $50 pair of pants.
I got 3 DUIs in less than 6 years, and my third one, Judge Howerton decided not to give me bond. He made the comment, Mr. Lathe, you got to know that when I can remember a man's face from the last court date to right now, he said, you got to know, son, I'm not letting you go home. So I never did go home. I was in jail for 3 months.
But when I got locked up the last time, it was a total different sound with them doors closing behind me. I had never heard that sound before. And didn't know if there was going to be an out.
My son informed me a couple months after I got out of jail that he, my mother and father had actually started planning my funeral before I went to jail.
Because even though I was there, or called myself being there, I wasn't there. I wasn't there for my kids. I couldn't have been. Lights got cut off, gas got cut off, got evicted, stole from my children. You know, moms don't do that.
And I could feel the death in me. I could feel myself dying. I really could.
Two portraits of addiction, of unhappiness and frustration. Portraits of people at the end of their ropes. For many like Georgia and Michael, addicts' lives are often caught up in an endless cycle of crime, arrest, jail, drugs and alcohol, crime, and rearrest.
All rise.
But Georgia and Michael were given an alternative to jail, a chance to end the cycle and jumpstart their lives.
Be seated, please, and come to order.
Afternoon, everybody.
They took that chance, knowing full well it was going to be neither quick nor easy. In the Mecklenburg County Courthouse in Charlotte, North Carolina, a special session is underway. Many of the faces in Judge Philip Howerton's DWI court are familiar to him. Each month, participants in drug courts appear before the judge's bench to report their progress, or lack of progress, in a relatively new program designed to fight the root cause of their legal troubles.
Laura has 224 days clean today. Way to go, Laura. Come on up here, young lady. I've got a certificate for you. Congratulations. Good job.
Well, one of the things that judges have traditionally done is arrived on the bench, listen to testimony, and make decisions, and then leave, and then wait for people to do what they're supposed to do. What started 15 years ago with the drug court was the recognition that we have a responsibility to allow families, and particularly individuals, to improve their life so that they comply with the court orders. And we've done that through what's called therapeutic justice. So we enhance their ability to comply with our court orders by providing services and judicial leadership in putting together programs, holding meetings, convening individuals to help put this process together.
In this court model, the assessment is a more comprehensive, family-oriented assessment that looks at obviously substance abuse and mental health issues, but goes beyond that to look at the needs of both the children and the adults with an eye towards reunification. That assessment process in this model has a great deal to do with the development of case planning and the actual interventions that are used to ultimately, hopefully, reach reunification.
Drug courts are a beautiful example of what we know as problem-solving courts in America. This is really a representation of a different way of thinking in the courts, where the courts take on a responsibility of solving the problems of the people that come before the court versus just really throwing away people who have problems in prison.
Statistics conclusively prove that drug treatment courts substantially reduce the drain on court and prison system resources. Over a 3-year period in Mecklenburg County, the rearrest rate for drug court program clients was 11%. The national rearrest rate for non-participants was 67%. To incarcerate a single drug-using offender for 1 year can cost between $20,000 and $50,000. The annual cost of a comprehensive drug court program for an offender is between $2,500 and $4,000. Beyond the cost savings, an even greater benefit can be applied to the bottom line: the number of lives and families saved.
When you look at the application of treatment, it's not just about substance abuse treatment. What we found in drug courts and what we find in family drug courts is once you take away the substances and the person engages in some recovery and sustained recovery, there's a number of other issues that come up, whether that be mental health issues, other co-occurring disorders, other issues specifically related to trauma and women, transportation issues, housing issues. The mechanism of case management is an opportunity to bring all of those treatment providers together to work towards a unified case plan.
Where's Mulia?
Attending the drug court session are the public defender, the district attorney, a probation officer, a representative from the treatment facility, and the case manager. The case manager is the drug court system organizer, someone who guides the recovering addict through the maze of the legal system, as well as the healing process.
In a legal system, their focus is on rights, and they assume that covers needs. In a mental health system, it focuses on needs, assuming that it covers the rights. In a drug court system like the one that works in Mecklenburg County, you have individuals who have been trained in thinking in both avenues, coming to meet through the case manager.
In some areas, you have the probation officers who are trying to be the case managers. Well, probation officers are good probation officers, but them doing case management conflicts oftentimes with what they are supposed to do as probation officers. The client may not be as willing to talk to a probation officer about their struggles with continuing to use. Can you imagine somebody feeling comfortable telling their probation officer, hey, I used cocaine this last week and I can't seem to stop? Because you want a third party who's objective, who's not a part of treatment, who's not a part of probation, but who is part of the court, who sits there and is able to help to pull all of these services together. They are the cog in which that wheel turns.
You're doing good, and it's job related. The first portion of my duties with Ms. Fox was assessment to ascertain whether she was actually qualified and capable of completing the program. From there, it turned into case planning. The referrals are basically and traditionally a piece of paper or a phone call to someone and asking or informing them that this client is going to come. The linkage part of it comes in and is very important is in that there are limited resources in the community and people get lots of phone calls for services for their clients, and the linkage is establish a relationship with the providers if possible. The most important part, in my opinion, is the advocacy. I'm the client's advocate.
At her latest case plan meeting, Georgia presents Don Moore with a dilemma. Her rapid progress through the program means she'll soon be moving out of the halfway house and won't be saving enough money to help out her daughter.
And she gets food stamps, so that's covered, but there's other stuff that's popping up, and I want to be able to help out a little bit. Now that I have a chance to, I could be a mom now.
This is a good, very motivated reason why you want to stay back, and this is, I know how much you want to start being more of the family and more of a mom.
As Georgia's advocate, Don must be concerned for her financial situation while encouraging her to complete her transition into mainstream society. After jail and the women's shelter, Georgia was referred to Hope Haven, a converted motel. Hope Haven is a halfway house, a transitional residence. For the last 6 months, Georgia has shared a small room with another recovering addict.
This is my certificate going in from first phase to second phase in court. This is what I got at the forum here at Hope Haven, just congratulating me for completing culinary school.
Georgia is working in food services here, learning about sanitation, nutrition, and the core skills that she would need to get a job in the food services industry, while she is also going to primary treatment for her drug addiction. Everyone that comes here is homeless, but also have not been able to function and stay clean and sober in an environment outside. So we provide them with a safe haven as a place to live while they are learning the tools of sobriety.
We want to try and give her a place where she's comfortable, where she doesn't have to worry about food, where she doesn't have to worry about clothing, where all her needs are being met. She doesn't have to worry about anything happening on the outside. Just worry about Georgia and be able to take care of Georgia for a period of time.
And the closeness of seeing people every day and making sure that they have the provisions they need to succeed with their being clean and sober and working toward a firm foundation for their recovery has really given me another energy level of wanting to continue working in this field. So Hope Haven has given that to me, and seeing the 200 or so people we can see every day wanting to have the same thing, and that's being clean and sober.
Today, Michael Lath is keeping his regular appointment with his substance abuse counselor at SAIL, the Southeast Addiction Institute and Learning Center. SAIL is an independent treatment facility where clients referred by the drug court are required to complete a months-long program of meetings, drug screenings, and therapy. If Michael can stick with the rigorous requirements, he will graduate a sober man with a fresh beginning.
On Tuesdays, I come into the anger management program, which my drinking led to simple assaults, and all known female, naturally.
A larger and larger percentage of our clients suffer from both mental health disorders along with substance abuse. So we have an on-staff psychiatrist who participates in our staffings, who sees the clients, who is able to then assess them for any medications.
Since we've started this, that it seems like my relationship with others has gotten a lot better.
At his private office, SAIL staff psychiatrist Warren Williams is conducting a session with a recovering addict named Pappy. Dr. Williams champions a three-pronged approach to treating chemical dependency.
They have to be evaluated to see if they need to recover from a biological illness, such as a depression, anxiety disorder, attention deficit disorder. If an individual has one of these kinds of illnesses and it's untreated, the chances are that they're going to continue to relapse. The second is a recovery of the psychology, of the sense of self. They've got to learn how to fit in their environment, both in terms of relationships and in terms of society. That means they need to learn how to respect authority and to be able to have intimacy or closeness. The third, of course, is addiction, whether it's to heroin, cocaine, alcohol, or any of the substances of abuse. Every one of these has to be dealt with. That's the triple recovery.
Once they have completed the program, graduated from the SAIL program, and once they graduate from the drug court program, they will come back to let us, see that they're doing okay, that they're still staying clean or sober, and most of them are still continuing with the 12-step program and utilizing a sponsor.
Good evening. Good evening.
A very important part of the drug treatment process is group therapy meetings. Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, 12-step meetings.
I look forward to getting with my group. I call them my classmates. And and we share. It's like, does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up, get off the chest? Because you can say anything to everybody in that room and know that it's going to stay within those four walls. The way my schedule is, I jump from meeting to meeting, just depending on what side of town I'm on during that time of day, because there's meetings all over this man's town. I mean, there's everywhere.
He gets frustrated because he's in so many programs. Every time you turn around, he's going to see a judge or going to court or going to see a probation officer or going to meetings, and and he gets frustrated every now and then. You have to kind of pump him back up and tell him how great he's doing and how much he's accomplished.
Dana and her daughter Shauna are now an integral part of Michael's life. In Shauna, Michael sees another chance to be the father he always wanted to be.
So I'm just glad that he came out of it when he did, because he missed the first 3 years of his grandchildren's life. He's got 3 beautiful grandchildren, and he basically was reunited with them 6 months ago. Nobody would let him around them because of the problem. And so he missed a lot. He feels like he lost 3 years of his life, I think. He loves that little girl to death, and I think she breathes life into him on a daily basis.
I have a 26-year-old who has always been the caretaker. I call her Mom. She held it together when I couldn't. My youngest daughter, we call her Grandmama. She's a very, very old spirit. She's been here before. She's got a lot of sense.
Georgia, too, is making up for lost time by becoming a mother again.
They call me Mom now. I'm not that girl or that woman or it or Gigi nickname. Everything but the child of God. They call me Mom now, and that is a blessing in itself, because I get called now, Mom, I'm doing this, or such and such is going on in my life, and they're opening up. There's still a lot of things we got to fix. You know what I'm saying? Not fix, excuse me. Work on, because I can't fix what I've screwed up. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I can do is own up to what I've done. You know what I'm saying? Work on that amends and make it better.
All right, let's get to Michael. I'm showing that he has 29 days clean time.
Before Judge Howerton convenes his DWI drug court, there's an informal gathering of lawyers, a representative from SAIL, and Michael Lath's case manager, Yvonne Jones. In this pre-court staffing, the judge hears information on Michael's case, facts that help him decide whether to praise Michael and advance him toward graduation, or chastise him for infractions such as relapses, failed drug tests, missing meetings, or unpaid debts.
He self-reported a relapse to you, is that correct?
Yes, sir, on 5/13.
Michael's case manager reports that her client has had a relapse, a serious but typical setback for recovering alcoholics.
Treatment says he's doing fine. They were just as surprised as everyone else with this relapse.
When court convenes, Judge Howerton calls clients to the front alphabetically. He knows Michael has been making good progress, and this relapse calls for encouragement, not punishment.
See, Mike self-reported a relapse last court, but since that time, I believe he's accumulated 29 days clean. Is that correct, Mike?
That's correct, sir.
All right, Mike, I'm going to give you a hint for that. I know that's a tough deal, and I appreciate your self-reporting that relapse. I want you to have a perfect score next time. And I think it would be a good idea for you to journal your meetings until between now and the next court date.
Although the relapse is a setback, the judge sees it as an opportunity for Michael to learn from his experience.
Yes, sir.
Instead of feeling his lost ground, Michael is actually encouraged to continue on his course toward recovery.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks, sir.
Come on up here, Barry. Keithlin, congratulations, bud. Good job.
These two men have successfully completed the year-long drug court program. With certificates from the court and the SAIL program, the graduates begin new lives with a new attitude. Michael knows he has a lot of hard work ahead of him. But in the smiles of these men, he can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
But I know you put your work in too, so thank you. Just thank everybody. Everybody here helped me get through this, you know what I'm saying?
I look forward to graduation where I can personally turn around and look at Judge Howerton and thank him for those 90 days.
All right, guys, don't drink. Go to meetings. We'll see you next time.
Having people come in and out of prison is very expensive. Having people come in and out of prison is not very effective. If I send somebody to prison who has a drug and alcohol problem, when they come back from prison, guess what? They still have a drug and alcohol problem. If we don't treat the problem, they're going to continue to commit crimes. If you treat the problem and you treat the addiction, then the person no longer has to commit crimes in order to survive. Now they're able to go get jobs. Now they're able to get, in some cases, we work with Department of Social Services, and they get their children back.
These people actually saved my life. This was God working through them to yank me in my collar and telling me, hold up, wait a minute, slow down. You know, no. Because if you don't, you're going to die. You know, and I am so grateful. Lord, I never thought I'd be thankful for the police and judges and probation officers. You know, because I got a lot going on in my life today. I call my network of angels. You know, I've got counselors here at Hope Haven. I've got counselors at Cell. I've got case managers downtown through the court. I've got the judge. I've got a probation officer. And all these people are my support system. It's not anything bad. God, thank you for putting them in my life.
Often the people that are in the program, that are the participants, are people that could go to jail or to prison for a very short period of time and be done with their sentence. But instead they choose to get clean and sober and to really put a future into their lives. And I just think that's really a commendable thing. I think that the drug court offers such a really important service to our community. It's often underplayed.
I really believe that I was pulled out of the gutter, and I was placed in treatment 21 years ago. And I really believe that my purpose is to help other people. But I believe God couldn't use me under the influence of drugs. So I had to get clean first. And because of the fact that I have a lot of gratitude today, and I just love helping other people, you know, get on the road to recovery.
In 2 words, my motivation is Georgia Fox. The clients that are doing very well, and the change in people's lives that I feel that drug court is making a difference in people's lives. I've been in the treatment field for 14 years, and this is a very successful program, and that motivates me to come in because I do know it's that we're doing a good job.
Drug courts offer hope. Drug courts offer reunited families. Drug courts reestablish one's own self-worth and really give life back to addicts who have lost it with addiction.
Everybody is trying as best they can to make that one individual get from the point where they were arrested to a point where they're back in our society. And not only are they back in our society, but look at it as if they're a convert to a new religion. They can be very, very zealous about getting those that they once knew off of drugs. They become our soldiers fighting something that our system has gotten very sick with, drug abuse.
2 weeks, so we'd suggest a minimum of 2 to 3 extra courts.
Drug and alcohol abusers have a doubly strong team in their corner: the drug court system and treatment personnel. Leading that team is the case manager, a captain who sees the big picture, gathers the components of treatment, probation, and the courts, then connects the dots. And throughout the entire process, the case manager keeps the client's intense desire for recovery at the forefront.
At first it's like, wow, I can't believe I got to do this. But now that I'm a part of the program, as opposed to being in denial with it, once you're done with it, you don't forget it. You get so into your heart and your being that it's a part of your life for the rest of your life. I know it will be mine. I have the love of my family, and I have Dana and the baby back.
With his life back on track again, Michael plans to marry Dana in the fall. He looks forward to raising Shauna and to rediscovering a sense of belonging.
He's much more considerate. He's more caring. He's not all out for Michael. You know, he cares about, I feel like he cares about the baby, and he cares about me, and he cares about his family now, where before all he wanted to know was where his next drink was coming from. It's a long road. It's a lifetime commitment now. It's more than a long road, but I think he'll make it.
2 lives, 2 second chances, 2 faces changed in so many ways. These are portraits of recovery.
Mr. Keithland Bird has 225 days clean days to go, and we're going to graduate him from this program. Hey, way to go, Jesse.
And she reported that Shanique's been missing just about every day. She was scheduled to attend since May 25th.
All right, get me an order for arrest for her.
On the other hand, if you choose to make a change in your behaviors, you live longer.
Okay, so both of you guys need to make sure that while you're there, that you get your hours signed off.
I am a living witness that this system and recovery is possible. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt to prove it.
I've got a lot to be thankful for, and the biggest part's just being sober.
My first birthday clean in 30 years.